My father stopped speaking to me 11 days ago, and yesterday my stepmother sent me a message saying I'd humiliated him in front of the whole family by refusing to let him walk me down the aisle at my wedding. A wedding where I'd already asked my uncle to do it instead, the man who actually raised me. My parents divorced when I was 6. My father moved 4 hours away within the year. I saw him summers, sometimes, a week here, 10 days there. He remarried when I was 9, had 2 more kids, built a whole other life. I don't say that bitterly, it's just what happened. Meanwhile, my mother's brother, Uncle Rob, drove me to school when her car broke down, sat through every uncomfortable parent-teacher conference, taught me to drive in an empty parking lot on a Saturday morning. He was just there, consistently, in all the ordinary ways that matter. When Daniel proposed last spring, I knew immediately I wanted Rob to walk me down the aisle. It didn't feel like a complicated decision, it felt like the most honest one. I told my father in June, 3 months before the wedding, I thought giving him time was the respectful thing to do. He went quiet on the phone, then said he understood. I felt relieved. I thought we'd move through it. We hadn't. 2 weeks before the wedding, he called asking if I'd reconsidered. I said no, gently but clearly. He asked why I was punishing him for choices he'd made when I was too young to understand adult circumstances. I told him I wasn't punishing anyone, I was honoring the person who'd shown up. He said that was a cruel way to frame it. I said it was an honest one. He came to the wedding. He sat in the front row. He watched Rob walk me down the aisle with his hands folded in his lap and an expression I couldn't read from a distance. At the reception, he was polite, surface level, there in body only. Daniel noticed. My mother noticed. Nobody said anything. The silence started the morning after. Texts unanswered. A call that went to voicemail. Then my stepmother's message, 3 days later, telling me I'd broken something in him. That he'd cried the entire drive home. That I'd made him feel like a stranger at his own daughter's wedding. That word, stranger, lodged itself somewhere in my chest. My cousin reached out saying she understood both sides, but that maybe I could have found a middle ground. A compromise. I've been trying to imagine what that compromise looks like. He walks half the aisle. We both pretend the last 25 years were something other than what they were. Here's what I haven't said to anyone yet. Not even Daniel. Standing at the back of that church, holding Rob's arm, watching the doors open, I felt something settle inside me. Not triumph, not grief, just rightness. Like I was finally being completely honest about my own life in front of everyone I loved. And then I looked at my father's face from across the room later, and I felt it fracture. Both things were true at once. That's the part nobody in my family seems to have space for. My therapist says I made a legitimate choice and I'm not responsible for managing his feelings about it. Daniel says I was brave. Rob hasn't said much. He just squeezed my hand when I told him about the fallout and said he was sorry it was hurting me. My mother says maybe I should call my father. Just call him. Let him say what he needs to say. She thinks silence will calcify into something permanent if I let it go too long. She might be right. I'm not angry at him. I think that's the complicated part. I understand his grief, even if I think it's partly grief over a version of fatherhood he imagined but didn't consistently live. I understand wanting to matter in your child's life. I just couldn't perform a closeness we hadn't actually built. Not on the most honest day of my life. He hasn't called. I haven't called. The wedding photos came back yesterday. In every single one where I'm walking toward Daniel, I'm smiling without effort. I don't know what to do with all of it.